Hello, everyone. How are you today? I hope that you are doing well. So, we are going to begin week 7. Oops, I forgot to write the day. Week 7 and day 2. So, I hope that our grammar instruction this week for day 1 was clear for you, and I hope that our extra practice in the workbook was also helpful. So for today, our plan is segment 1. We are going to finish lesson D, which was the reading about the rock or Alcatraz. Okay. We're going to finish lesson D and continue on to lesson E, which is writing practice. So after that, segment 2, we will focus on lesson F and finishing unit 10. Now, at the end of unit 10, you will notice that there is a review section. So for segment 3 today, we will focus on some review for units 9 and 10. So I would like to say at this time, because Unit 10 is our last unit in the student book, we will try to have an exam sometime soon. So I need to ask about a few things with the office and make sure how to give you a test. We might need to be creative, try something different, possibly through email. So just keep looking and waiting for some information from me about how to take a quiz. But don't worry, just be ready. Okay, so at this time, let's go back to our student books. And we were finishing page 129 at the end of day 1, segment 3. So if you will, turn with me, page 129, and after you read section 3, and I believe that we finished through number 4. So let's start with number 5, and I hope that you had a chance to also finish these questions. So let's discuss a little bit more about Alcatraz and discuss these together. So number 5, underline the word major in the second paragraph. What do you think this word means in this article? And what helps you understand the meaning? So day 1, we pointed out where all of the new vocabulary words are in the reading article. So where do we see the word major? Okay. Now, we mentioned that it is paragraph 2. The sentence reads, "The island became a national park, and since then, it has been a major attraction for tourists from all over the world." And we mentioned about the article a, followed by attraction, which is a noun. So we know that major is an adjective. So I think you have probably heard this word before. What would be your guess based on this paragraph? National park, major attraction, all over the world. So this paragraph gives us a feeling that this is a popular place. Many people visit the Rock or Alcatraz. So major, what's your guess? Major meaning big or important, maybe famous. So what other major attractions have you been to? All right. What about number 6? How long has Alcatraz been a tourist attraction? So we pointed out in the article that there were many different dates. So which date did Alcatraz become a park and not a prison? Did you catch it? Okay, that was 1963. So we could say since, because we have a year. Since 1963, Alcatraz has been a major tourist attraction. Or we could also say tourist destination. So what about number 7? Maria and her 2 sons, 11 and 13 years old, want to go to Alcatraz during the day. How much will this cost them? All right, so using the chart at the bottom of the article, you need to do some math and calculate. So for a child ages 5 through 17 in the day, it's $31. And what about an adult? $45.25. Okay, it's not cheap, but it is an interesting tourist attraction. So if we add up 3 tickets for the day, we can calculate $107.25. Did you get the same number? My math is usually no good, so you can double check on your own. And the last question, number 8. Why? Why do you think Alcatraz is a popular tourist destination? So I'm sorry that we can't have free conversation or discussion together, but perhaps we could try an online chat sometime to discuss this question. So do you think it's because it's a prison and people are curious about bad guys in society? Every culture, every country has bad guys and good guys. So maybe we are curious about this side of human nature. So anyway, maybe you can share your opinion. Why do you think it's so popular? So I was thinking about my trip to Alcatraz. I mentioned to you that I visited at least twice, maybe 3 times, and I found an old picture. I think this picture was maybe from 2005 or 2006. So this is a picture of my father and I and another friend. We are standing on the rock in San Francisco. Behind, you can see the skyline of San Francisco. And you can see that it is a very windy place because my hair is blowing in the wind. And this is another friend that I grew up with. And she came to visit San Francisco at the same time. So here's me at Alcatraz. Sorry for the glare, but I found that old picture, as well as an old picture or postcard of San Francisco. This is actually North Beach, which is the Little Italy. And in our article, one of the famous prisoners that was mentioned was Al Capone. He was a famous Italian mobster. I'm sure you have heard his name before or seen a movie about him. So there is a bar or club in this area called Capone's. So I thought you might find this interesting to see a famous scene from San Francisco. Okay, so I think perhaps some of you have been to San Francisco. If you have not, I hope that you will have a chance, and perhaps you will be able to visit the Rock. Okay, so very interesting place. So at this time, let's go down a little bit to exercise B. And let's do a little bit of practice with the new words that we encountered in this article. Okay, we have admission, attraction, cells, but we're talking about prison cells, escape, ferries, in advance, prison, and sell out. This is the phrasal verb sell out. Okay, so at this time, I would like to challenge you once again to pause the video a little bit and take a moment to fill in the blank. Try your best to choose the correct vocab words here. All right, and then we will check together. Okay, so let's try it. So I'm looking at part 3 on page 129. All right, 3A. The Empire State Building in New York is a famous tourist, what's your guess? Attraction. The clue is tourist. So remember the collocation, tourist attraction, tourist destination. Okay, B, general admission, meaning the cost of the ticket. General admission for an evening tour for adults is $52.25. Okay. Have you ever been to the Empire State Building in New York City? I think right now is not a safe time to go, but have you ever been? And believe it or not, I have been there, but only for one night in New York City. I took a road trip. Remember this vocabulary? A road trip from Philadelphia to New York City overnight. And I only visited the Empire State Building and Times Square. So very adventurous. What about C? Tickets to popular music concerts often. Okay, often is an adverb, so we need a verb. What do you think? Sell out very quickly. Okay. Have you ever tried to buy an admission ticket before, but it was sold out? It's not a good feeling, especially if it's a place you want to visit. What about D? We bought our tickets 6 months. Okay, think about 6 months. We have a time frame, time period. So I'm thinking something like before or after. And which word relates to time? In advance. In advance. Okay, meaning what? Beforehand, in advance. Okay, E. To get to the Ellis Island Immigration Museum in New York, you have to take one of the ferries from Manhattan. All right, so my question is, do you like to take ferries? Do you like to ride on the water? So I mentioned to you about San Francisco that I often took a ferry across this bay, across the ocean. And it was very exciting because the water is choppy. So what about you? Do you like to take ferries? Okay, F. Alcatraz used to be a prison. Used to be a prison. Then it became a national park. G. Each prisoner in Alcatraz lived in one of the 378 blank cells. Okay, so a cell is another word for room, or in this case, prison room with bars. Or nowadays, maybe it's a locked room. So at Alcatraz, you can see some of the famous prisoners' cells with the original objects, belongings inside. It's fascinating. And the last one, H, 36 men tried to, okay, to is a clue. To plus a verb is an infinitive. So only one word left. What do you think? Escape from Alcatraz. All right, how many again? 36 people. I could say brave souls if they are not scared of sharks and dangerous water. 36 men tried to escape. Okay, if you look below, part C, you will notice there is another talk exercise. So I would like for you to call your conversation partner or have a video chat or someone at home to discuss these 3 questions, and let me add a couple more, maybe 2 more. So, what was the most expensive admission ticket you have ever bought? Okay, what's the most money you have ever paid to enter somewhere? Okay, and number 2, what attraction would you like to visit in the future? Okay, when life returns to normal. All right, so what's a famous place or tourist attraction that you would like to visit as soon as possible? So in the past, we have written about attractions in Atlanta. We have written about other places that we have already been. So I would like for you to dream, share your dream with me. What is one place you would like to visit, a tourist attraction? Okay, and so let me mention about your homework for this week. I should say homework for day 2. Let me maybe hold this up for a moment. Okay, so if you can see it, write a 1 paragraph describing a tourist attraction you'd like to visit and why, we mentioned, but use vocabulary and complex sentences. So use vocab and complex sentences. Okay. So in this chapter, when we had the PowerPoint presentation and lesson A, we learned some vocab words and some idioms also. So now is a good chance for you to practice. Try to use those correctly if you can. And also a good chance to practice grammar. So in Unit 10, we have been talking about conditionals such as if, and we talked about the words before and after. So show me your understanding and your knowledge about using conditional clauses. So if you use a clause, meaning it is a dependent clause on the main clause. So for example, if I go back to visit San Francisco, comma, I would like to visit some famous coffee shops that I have not visited before. For example, so about a place, write about a place that you have never visited, but you would like to. Okay, so we have finished lesson D about the reading, and we'll come back in a moment. And I would like to give you some examples and more details relating to our writing assignment for this week. Perhaps you can start to brainstorm about your topic. So I will see you in a moment for segment 2.